I'm Isaiah Coleman, 90. My days pared down to quiet routine. Mornings, I leave my cramped apartment, cane steadying my steps, my faded jacket threadbare from decades. White folks sneer openly, their eyes branding me an outsider, my veteran sacrifice invisible. Go back to your side, a woman mutters, clutching her purse. Police prowl, their gazes icy, sizing me up like a threat, not a man who served. The air's thick with their scorn, a wound I've borne too long to show. Today, I head to the grocery for my weekly bread. Near the store, 3 cops lean against a wall, badges flashing, their smirks sharp with arrogance. Clutching my cane, I vow to keep my dignity, unbroken by their disdain. As I near the grocery, Officer Daniels, a wiry man with a cruel glint in his eyes, spots me. His smirk cuts like a blade. His 2 colleagues, younger but just as smug, flank him, their boots sprawled across the sidewalk, blocking my path. The air thickens with their arrogance, a challenge I've faced too often as a black man. "Excuse me, officers," I say, my voice steady despite my racing pulse. "May I pass?" Daniel scoffs, leaning forward. "What's an old man like you doing out here, boy?" The word lands like a whip, laced with Jim Crow venom, meant to degrade. His partners snicker, their laughter a cold echo of contempt. I grip my cane, keeping calm. "Just getting some bread, sir. I'm a veteran, served 3 wars: World War II, Korea, Vietnam." Daniel's eyes narrow, his mocking grin widening. "Veteran, you? Probably cleaned boots for real soldiers." The others howl, egging him on, their badges glinting like taunts. I try to step past, but Daniels moves, deliberate and mean. "Watch it, old man," he sneers, shoving my shoulder hard. My balance falters. My cane clatters to the ground as I stumble off the curb into the street. Horns blare, tires screech, a car swerves, missing me by inches. Pain shoots through my hip, but it's the sting of their laughter that burns deeper. Scrambling upright, I see them high-fiving, pointing at my struggle. Look at him flop, one jeers. My face burns, not from shame but from a righteous anger I haven't felt in years. My dignity's bruised, my jacket scuffed, but my resolve hardens like steel. I've faced enemy fire with less malice than these men show. They think they've won, but this isn't over. A young black woman, maybe 25, rushes to my side, her face tight with fury. "Mr. Coleman, you all right?" she asks, snatching my cane from the gutter. Her name's Maya, a cashier at the grocery, always kind when I buy my bread. "Those racist cops," she mutters, her voice low, but shaking. "They got no right treating you like that." Her anger mirrors mine, but I force a shaky smile, masking the tremble in my hands. "I'm fine, Maya. Thank you for your kindness." She shakes her head, eyes blazing. "It ain't right. You a veteran, a hero. They should be ashamed." I nod, grateful, but her words can't dull the sting. As she helps me steady myself, I catch sight of Daniels and his crew sauntering down a nearby alley, their laughter echoing like a slap. They think they're untouchable, their badges a shield for cruelty. The crowd disperses, some casting sympathetic glances, others avoiding my gaze, as if my shame might cling to them. I brush dirt from my faded jacket, the same one I've worn for decades, its threads holding memories of harder days. But this feels different, deeper. I hobble to the curb, my hip protesting, and sink onto a bench, the world slowing around me. My mind drifts, unbidden, to other humiliations, scars layered over a lifetime. In 44, a white sergeant called me boy, before sending me to clean latrines, my rifle training ignored. After Korea, a diner in Alabama turned me away, my uniform still crisp, because we don't serve your kind. Vietnam brought more slurs, whispered by men I saved in the jungle. Each time, I swallowed the bile, carried on, because a Marine doesn't break. But today, at 90, the weight feels heavier. Those cops didn't see a veteran, a man who bled for this country. They saw a black man, old and frail, unworthy of respect. The laughter from the alley fades, but it lingers in my ears, a taunt that claws at my pride. I've never been one for vengeance. Hate festers, and I've seen too much of it, but silence isn't an option. Silence lets men like Daniels thrive, their prejudice unchecked, their power a weapon. I think of the boys I led in Korea, young Marines who looked to me for courage, and the promises I made to myself after Vietnam, to live with dignity, to never let cruelty go unanswered. Today, they mock not just me, but the Corps, the men I fought beside, the legacy we built through blood. I glance at the alley, a narrow stretch behind the old warehouse, a dead end where troublemakers like to hide. Daniels and his men are likely there, congratulating themselves, oblivious to consequences. But I know this neighborhood, its rhythms, its secrets. 2 blocks away sits the Marine Corps recruiting station, a place I've visited for years, swapping stories with the recruiters. Sergeant Aisha Brooks runs it now, a sharp, no-nonsense woman who calls me Master Gunny with respect that warms my old bones. She's got a fire in her, a reverence for the Corps' honor, and I know she won't stand for this. My hands, still trembling, steady as resolve takes hold. This isn't about revenge, it's about accountability. Men like Daniels need to learn that actions have weight, that disrespecting a Marine black, old, or otherwise carries a cost. I fumble for my old flip phone, its cracked screen a relic of simpler days. I press the call button, my purpose clear. This is for every slight I've endured, every black veteran dismissed, every moment of cruelty left unchallenged. The line rings, and I know who I'm calling. Aisha will understand. The Corps always does. I know what I have to do. Not for vengeance hate poisons the soul, but for justice, for the Corps, for every black veteran whose sacrifices are spat upon. My gaze drifts to the alley's mouth, a shadowed stretch behind the old warehouse, a dead end where Daniels and his men are likely gloating, their badges, a false armor. 2 blocks away lies the Marine Corps recruiting station, a squat brick building I've visited for years, swapping stories with recruiters who treat me like family. Sergeant Aisha Brooks runs it now, a black woman in her 30s, tough as nails, with eyes that see through excuses and a heart that honors the Corps' legacy. She calls me Master Gunny, with a respect that warms my weary bones, and I know she'll understand what's at stake. Marine Corps recruiting, Corporal Evans speaking. A young voice answers, crisp and professional. I clear my throat, my voice low but firm, carrying the weight of my rank. This is Master Gunnery Sergeant Isaiah Coleman, retired. I need to speak with Sergeant Aisha Brooks. It's urgent. There's a pause, a rustle of movement, and Evans' tone sharpens, sensing the gravity. Yes, sir, Master Gunny. Stand by, connecting you now. The line clicks, and then Aisha's voice comes through, sharp and protective, like a commander rallying her troops. Master Gunny Coleman, what's wrong? Are you hurt? Her concern is immediate, a lifeline in the haze of my anger. I take a breath, grounding myself, and recount the incident with the precision of a mission report. 3 cops, Officer Daniels and 2 others, blocked the sidewalk by the grocery. I asked to pass, told them I'm a veteran, served 3 wars. Daniels called me boy, mocked my service, said I probably cleaned boots. Then he shoved me into traffic. My cane fell, I nearly got hit. They laughed, Aisha, like it was a game. They're in the alley behind the warehouse now, a dead end off Mason Street. I pause, the words heavy. They disrespected the Corps, put an old Marine in harm's way, all because of my skin. Aisha's silence is brief but charged, the kind that precedes action. Master Gunny, she says, her voice like tempered steel. Are you injured, sir? Shaken, bruised, but I'm standing, I reply, my grip tightening on the phone. They're still in that alley, likely thinking they've won. Understood, Aisha says, her tone now a low growl, the fury of a Marine who knows the cost of disrespect. Mason Street, behind the warehouse. How many? Just the 3. Yes, mid-30s, arrogant, led by Daniels, I confirm. Consider it handled, Master Gunny, she says, her words clipped, final. Stay clear of that alley and stay safe, sir. We'll counsel them Marine Corps style. The line goes dead, but her promise lingers, a spark igniting hope in my chest. I lower the phone, my hands steady now, the tremble gone. Aisha's tone, fierce yet controlled, carries the weight of the Corps' unbreakable bond that doesn't fade with age or bend under prejudice. I think of the recruiters I've met, young Marines who salute me not out of duty but out of reverence for what we've built. They'll move fast, I know, with the disciplined purpose that defines us. Daniels and his men are about to learn what happens when you cross a line with the Corps. From my bench, I watch the alley's entrance, the shadows swallowing the cops' faint chatter. The street hums with life, but I feel a shift, a reckoning coming. Pride flickers in me, not just for myself, but for the Marines who'll answer this call. Justice is near, and I'm ready to see it done. My flip phone rests heavy in my pocket, Aisha's promise. We'll handle this burning in my mind. I'm Isaiah Coleman, Master Gunnery Sergeant, retired, and I've waited out worse than this in foxholes and jungles. But today, the weight feels electric, charged with the certainty of justice. 10 minutes pass, the street humming with its usual rhythm vendors calling, cars rolling by, but a shift in the air pulls my gaze. From the corner of Mason Street, a squad of Marines emerges, their presence like a storm breaking over the horizon. Led by Sergeant Aisha Brooks, they move with a purpose that silences the chatter around me. My heart stirs, pride swelling despite the ache in my bones. The Corps doesn't just respond, it commands. Aisha strides at the forefront, tall and commanding, her service Charlie's crisp, her dark eyes blazing with controlled fury. Behind her, 8 Marines fan out men and women, black, white, Hispanic, a tapestry of strength bound by discipline. Some wear utility uniforms, others dress blues, their boots striking the pavement in unison, a cadence that echoes my years on the parade deck. They're young, some barely out of boot camp, but their posture radiates the lethal precision I knew in Korea and Vietnam. No wasted motion, no hesitation, just the unshakable authority of the Corps. I watch, breath-catching, as Aisha raises a hand, her signal sharp and silent. 2 Marines, a wiry black woman and a broad-shouldered Hispanic man, peel off to flank the alley's entrance, their stances like sentinels, blocking any escape. Their faces are grim, eyes locked forward, as if daring the world to test them. The street seems to hold its breath. Even the shopkeepers pause, brooms stilled, sensing something monumental. The cops' laughter still spills from the alley, oblivious, arrogant, a stark contrast to the Marines' quiet power. They have no idea what's coming, and that ignorance fuels my anticipation. Aisha's aura isn't anger, not the reckless kind Daniels wields, but a calm, resolute force, the kind that bends steel without breaking it. It's the same aura I carried when dressing down a wayward recruit, the kind that makes men rethink their choices. She nods to the remaining 6 Marines, a mix of recruiters and recruits, their faces set like granite. They fall in behind her, a single unit, their steps synchronized, covering ground with an efficiency that's almost surreal. The sight stirs memories of my own squads, of missions where honor was our only currency. These Marines carry that same legacy, and today, it's for me. My gaze follows them as Aisha leads the group toward the alley, her posture radiating a fury so controlled it's almost palpable. Her shoulders are squared, her stride deliberate, each step a declaration that the Corps doesn't tolerate disrespect, not to its own, not to a black veteran who bled for this country. The alley's mouth swallows them, the dim light casting long shadows, but their presence lingers, a weight that presses against the very air. I lean forward, my cane propped beside me, every sense attuned to what's unfolding. The cops chatter loud, careless fills the space, their voices bragging about their stunt, probably mocking the old man they think they've broken. I picture Daniels, smirking, high-fiving his lackeys, their badges glinting as if they're untouchable. But then, abruptly, the laughter stops. A heavy, terrified silence falls, so sudden it's as if the alley itself has frozen. My pulse quickens, a grin tugging at my lips despite the pain in my hip. They've seen Aisha. They've seen the Marines. And they know, in that gut-deep way, that their reckoning is here. I can't see inside the alley, but I don't need to. That silence speaks louder than their earlier jeers. It's the sound of arrogance crumbling, of men who thought themselves above consequence facing the Corps' unyielding standard. Aisha's there, I know, her voice likely low and cutting, each word a blade honed by years of discipline. The Marines behind her, young but fierce, stand as one, their presence a wall no badge can breach. The street around me feels different now, charged with the promise of justice, the kind only the Corps can deliver. I sit back, my hands steady on the bench, pride blooming in my chest. The Corps' bond, forged in blood and honor, doesn't fade with age or bend under prejudice. Aisha and her Marines are my family, my legacy, and they're here to right a wrong. The confrontation hasn't started, but the tension is a living thing, coiling tighter with every second. Daniels and his men are about to learn what happens when you cross a Marine, especially one who's still standing at 90. Below is Chapter 6, The Reckoning, written in the first person as Isaiah Coleman, adhering closely to the provided outline and the style of the original document. This chapter delivers the climactic confrontation, reveals the plot twist, and aims to satisfy readers with justice while deepening the emotional stakes. It incorporates the specified details, emphasizes racial prejudice and the emotional weight of the granddaughter revelation, and mirrors the original's vivid, disciplined confrontation and nonviolent resolution. The word count is approximately 800 words, ensuring a detailed and emotionally resonant climax. Chapter 6, The Reckoning. From my bench across the street, the alley's shadows hide the scene, but the silence that swallowed the cops' laughter tells me everything. My heart pounds, not with fear but with a fierce pride I haven't felt since my days leading Marines. I'm Isaiah Coleman, 90, a black veteran who survived 3 wars, and today, the Corps is answering for me. Sergeant Aisha Brooks and her squad are in that alley, and Daniels and his cronies, those badge-wearing bullies who shoved me into traffic, are about to face a reckoning. Aisha's voice cuts through the stillness, not loud but piercing, each syllable honed with drill instructor precision. You think you can shove a Marine veteran into traffic? A black man who fought for your freedom while you weren't even born? Her words are a blade, slicing through the cop's arrogance. I lean forward, my cane forgotten, every fiber tuned to her cadence. Daniel stammers, his voice a weak sputter, but Aisha doesn't relent. You called him boy, mocked his service, put his life at risk. You're not officers, you're a disgrace. The other Marines join in, their voices a disciplined chorus, each taking a turn to dismantle the cops' egos. A young Hispanic Marine, her tone steady as steel, lectures on honor. This man served when the country turned its back on him. Where's your honor? A black male recruit, barely 20, speaks of accountability. You wear a badge, but you're no better than the cowards who hide behind power. Their words aren't shouted, they don't need to be. They carry the weight of the Corps' legacy, exposing the cops' prejudice and corruption with surgical clarity. I imagine Daniel's smirk gone, his partner's bravado crumbling, their authority reduced to ash. Then comes a moment that stops my breath. Aisha's voice lowers, but it carries a new weight, personal and raw. This man raised me to fight for what's right. Master Gunnery Sergeant Isaiah Coleman is my grandfather, and you disrespected my family and the Corps. My eyes widen, tears pricking as the truth lands. Aisha, my granddaughter, who I rocked to sleep as a child, who listened to my stories of resilience against racism, she's here, defending me. Her strength, her fire, was forged by my life, my battles. The alley seems to pulse with the revelation, the bond between us a force stronger than any badge. The Marines' verbal barrage continues, relentless but controlled, a masterclass in discipline. No fists are raised, no blows struck, just a verbal dismantling that cuts deeper than violence ever could. Another Marine, a white woman with a voice like iron, speaks of respect. You endangered a man who earned his stripes in blood. You'll answer for that. The cops' responses, if they dare speak, are drowned by the Marines' authority. I picture them shrinking, pale, their swagger extinguished, realizing no rank protects them from the Corps' judgment. The dressing down lasts maybe 6 minutes, though it feels like an eternity. Then, silence falls again, heavy with the weight of truth. The cops stumble out of the alley, one by one, their faces ghostly, eyes averted. Daniels, once towering with arrogance, looks small, his shoulders hunched, his badge dulled by shame. His partners follow, trembling, their steps unsteady, as if the ground itself rejects them. They don't run, they can't summon the strength, just creep down the street, glancing back, haunted by the Marines' words. Their authority, their pride, lies shattered in that alley. I sit back, my chest tight with a mix of triumph and sorrow. Justice has been served, not with fists but with honor, the kind Daniels will never understand. Aisha's revelation, my granddaughter, deepens the victory, tying this moment to our family's long fight against prejudice. I think of my wife, gone these 20 years, who'd smile to see Aisha's strength. I think of the black Marines I served with, whose names are etched in my heart. This is for them, too. The crowd around me murmurs, some in awe, others nodding in quiet approval. Maya, the young woman who helped me, stands nearby, her eyes bright with pride. The street feels alive, changed, as if the Corps' presence has cleansed it. I grip my cane, my hands steady now, the pain in my hip a faint echo. The cops are gone, their lesson learned, but the real victory is mine, Aisha's, the Corps'. We've shown what happens when you cross a line with a Marine, especially one whose family. The alley's silence lingers as the cops slink away, their arrogance shattered. I sit on the bench, my heart still racing from Aisha's revelation. She's my granddaughter, my pride, carrying the fire I passed down. I'm Isaiah Coleman, 90, a black Marine who faced prejudice and war, and today, the Corps stood for me. The street hums with whispers, onlookers murmuring in awe at the Marine's swift justice. Aisha emerges from the alley, her tall frame commanding, her service uniform crisp. She strides toward me, snapping a crisp salute. Master Gunnery Sergeant Coleman, the situation's handled, they've learned respect. Her voice, firm yet warm, carries the weight of our shared legacy. I rise, my hip aching but my spirit soaring, and return the salute, my hand steady for the first time today. Our eyes meet, and she steps closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. I'm proud of you, Grandpa. The words, soft but fierce, ripple through the crowd, revealing our bond. My chest tightens, tears pricking me. Little Aisha, now a warrior, honoring me. Maya, the young woman who retrieved my cane, stands nearby, her smile wide, nodding as if she's always known my worth. The crowd's murmurs grow, their gazes no longer pitying but reverent. Aisha offers, "Let me drive you home, Grandpa." I shake my head, a grin breaking free. I think I'll get that bread now. My appetite's back, hunger fueled by pride, not just for bread but for life. She laughs, a sound like sunlight, and squeezes my shoulder. The Marines form up behind her, a diverse line of men and women, their unity a beacon in this fractured world. Aisha calls, "Fall in." And they execute a sharp about-face, marching back toward the recruiting station. Their boots echo, a disciplined rhythm that drowns out the memory of Daniel's laughter. The street feels cleansed, hope lingering in their wake. I grip my cane and stand, my steps surer now. I walk toward the grocery, head high, shoulders squared like the Marine I've always been. The crowd parts, their nods a quiet acknowledgement. For once, I'm not just an old black man, invisible or scorned. I'm seen Master Gunnery Sergeant Coleman, a warrior whose dignity no prejudice can erase. The store's bell jingles as I enter, and I know this moment, this victory, is ours, mine, Aisha's, the Corps'. Justice has restored what cruelty tried to steal, and I carry it forward, unbowed. The day's events settle over me like dust after a storm. I'm Isaiah Coleman, 90, a black Marine who faced war and prejudice, and today, justice answered. The cops' humiliation Daniels and his crew wasn't just a spectacle, it was a lesson in humanity, a reminder that cruelty, especially rooted in racism, carries a cost. Their laughter, once sharp, now echoes as a warning, thanks to Aisha and the Corps. The neighborhood buzzes with the story, whispered in shops and on stoops. Daniels and his men, now under scrutiny, patrol with uncharacteristic politeness, their arrogance curbed, at least for now. Maya, the young woman who helped me, tells me folks speak of the Marines' stand with awe, a tale of right prevailing. It's a small victory, but it ripples, shifting how people see Menno, just an old black man, but a veteran, a man of worth. Later, I visit the recruiting station, my cane tapping a steady rhythm. The young Marines snap salutes, their eyes warm with respect. Aisha greets me with a hug, her strength a mirror of our family's resilience. We share a quiet moment, no words needed, honoring the battles we've fought, mine in war, hers against the world's biases. Her pride in me, her grandfather, fills the cracks left by yesterday's pain. I reflect on the broader fight against racism. One alley confrontation won't dismantle centuries of hate, but it's a spark to remind us that dignity demands action. The Corps taught me that honor isn't given, it's earned through sacrifice, through standing tall when others try to break you. Today, we showed that truth to men who thought their badges made them untouchable. Back home, I sit in my small apartment, the walls lined with faded photos and medals I never wear. I hold my old Marine cap, its emblem worn but proud. Respect isn't owed, it's earned, I murmur, a call to anyone who'll listen. And no one, no matter their age or race, should be denied it. I hang the cap on the wall, its shadow a testament to endurance. Dignity, I've learned, outlasts cruelty, and justice, when fought for, prevails. This moment, this stand, isn't just my Nate's for every black veteran, every soul diminished by prejudice. It's a challenge to the world. See us, honor us, not for our skin but for our hearts. As I close my eyes, Aisha's voice echoes, and I know our legacy will carry on, unbroken, unbowed.